We are always told that forgiveness is for ourselves, that it frees us, that it lifts the weight, that it is the final step toward peace. But what if that advice, applied blindly, is quietly damaging your mental health? What if forgiving someone who is not sorry is not an act of healing, but an act of self-abandonment? Have you ever felt more exhausted after letting it go than you did when you were actually angry? You were told it would set you free. Instead, it felt like you betrayed your own boundaries. The Stoics spoke often of forgiveness, but they also spoke of justice, reason, and self-respect. And they never taught us to deny reality for the comfort of others. Tonight, we examine the hidden psychological tax of offering unearned grace and how to reclaim peace without abandoning yourself. Modern culture promotes a simple formula: hurt to forgive, to heal. But healing is not automatic, and forgiveness is not mandatory. Marcus Aurelius wrote that when someone wrongs you, you must understand their ignorance. But he did not say you must pretend it did not happen. There is a biological cost to performing a mental lie. When someone remains harmful, dismissive, unrepentant, and you force yourself to forgive them, your body feels the contradiction. You smile, while your nervous system stays alert. You say, "It's fine," while your stomach tightens. This is cognitive dissonance, the stress of holding two opposing realities. I was harmed, but I must act like it no longer matters. Over time, this creates resentment, not toward them, but toward yourself. And this is where toxic empathy begins. You understand their pain, their history, their reasons, but your empathy becomes weaponized, used against your own boundaries. When you forgive someone who refuses accountability, something subtle begins to erode. You start questioning your memory. Was it really that bad? Maybe I overreacted. Maybe I'm too sensitive. Unearned absolution can function as self-gaslighting. You prioritize their comfort over your truth. Seneca warned that the mind must remain loyal to reason. If reality is denied to preserve harmony, clarity is sacrificed, and clarity is the foundation of psychological strength. The more you override your instincts, the quieter they become. Eventually, you lose trust in your own perception. This is the silent erosion of the self, the slow fading of inner authority. Premature forgiveness sends a message, not always spoken, but understood. It says, "This behavior does not cost you anything." When someone faces no consequences, no accountability, no honest confrontation, patterns repeat. The Stoics distinguished between peacekeeping and peacemaking. Peacekeeping avoids tension. Peacemaking requires truth. If you sacrifice truth for surface harmony, you create conditions for repeated injury. There is also a psychological trap here: the empathy-forgiveness loop. You empathize, you forgive, they avoid accountability. You absorb the emotional labor. The cycle continues, and you grow tired. Reconciliation requires two participants. If only one person is reflecting, apologizing, adjusting, it is not reconciliation. It is endurance. Maintaining such a relationship demands constant internal suppression. You swallow anger. You minimize impact. You carry the emotional repair alone, and you begin to feel something deeper than anger: grief. The grief of realizing the apology you deserve may never come. Epictetus taught that peace comes from aligning expectations with reality. If someone refuses to acknowledge harm, you cannot extract closure from them, and chasing it will exhaust you. The Stoic alternative to forced forgiveness is not bitterness. It is detachment. Emotional detachment is not coldness. It is clarity. You acknowledge the harm. You accept the person as they are, without expecting transformation. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, when someone does wrong, they act according to their understanding. Understanding does not require proximity. Compassion does not require access. Radical acceptance means, this happened. They are not sorry. I will not distort reality to make it easier. You validate your experience, independent of their apology. Closure becomes internal. You do not wait for them to grant it. You grant it to yourself. Forgiveness can be powerful, but only when it is honest. When forgiveness is premature, coerced, performative, it fractures your integrity. The Stoics never asked us to betray ourselves for the illusion of peace. They asked us to live in accordance with reason. If someone is not sorry, you are not required to pretend they are. You are allowed to protect your mind, to adjust your access, to honor your boundaries. Peace does not come from excusing harm. It comes from aligning with truth. And sometimes, the most stoic act of forgiveness is not absolution, but release. Release from expectation, release from pursuit, release from the need for apology. You can let go without lying to yourself, and in doing so, you preserve something far more valuable than harmony, your psychological integrity.